Hello, fellow percussionists. Welcome back to the Highway Chris J Percussion Lessons, Part 3. All right, by now you should kind of know the routine, but I will quickly go over it once again. This is the drum pad. It mimics a snare drum. It's great for practice because it's not too loud and it has the perfect bounce to it. It's a real feel pad. Highly recommend them. Now, you want the snare drum or the pad to be at belt level. The grip, right here, matched grip, okay, right there. Between the thumb and the index finger, on the index finger, first and second knuckle. Rest of the fingers loosely wrap around for controlling. Now, stance, shoulder width apart, feet shoulder width apart, elbows out, backs of hands up, this round circular open shape here, okay? Open shape, okay. Now relax the shoulders. And now we get out our metronome, okay? Last week I did 3 minutes at 85 BPM. I bumped it up to 96 this time. It's reasonable to go about 1 or 2 BPM a day depending on how it's going. But again, speed is not the option. Speed is not the object. It's technique, articulation, clarity, and accuracy. Proper technique far outweighs the need for speed. Speed will come if you work hard on these basics, okay? So, once again, feet shoulder width apart, elbows out, backs of hands up. This is the grip, the matched grip, okay? Ready? And we're going to do 2 beats with each hand. By the way, the sticks should meet, if I lifted them up, at the center of the drum at about a 90-degree angle right in the middle of the drum, okay? So that's something to look at as you're looking down over the sticks. Okay, here we go, 96 BPM. Ready, go. Now really internalize that metronome because this exercise will also help you build an excellent sense of time. As you're doing this, you're constantly checking your technique. Grip, check. Backs of hands up, check. Elbows out, check. 90-degree angle, the sticks meet in the middle of the drum, check. And it takes discipline. But if you're going to be doing this all by yourself, don't let yourself off easy. Technically, if you make a mistake, you should start that 3-minute timer over. Except for maybe a little stick click while you're talking. I'm going to double time it for the last minute here, just to give you an example of the kind of more of an advanced result of this. Ready, go. Here we go. This would be about 192. Again, staying relaxed. Backs of hands up, elbows out, proper grip, shoulders relaxed. Stay on beat. There we go. And that's your 3 minutes of snare drum lesson. Depending on how that's going, we might advance on, and I will start incorporating some books that you can get to follow along with my lesson plan. All right? Okay, so moving over here to the xylophone. Last week, we learned that G major scale, okay? So we're going to do that 10 times, up and down. Okay? What, you want to count? Keep me honest. I did watch the video back from last week. In my C major scales, I only did 9. So it's important that you keep yourself honest, and I will keep myself honest. So here's 10 good ones, maybe 12, on the G major scale. Again, you're going to start with the left hand here, and you basically, the way it works, you never have to cross. Okay? So here we go. The trick to the G major scale is that the second to the last note is up here. It's remember we have the group of 3 and 2 accidentals. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, and so on. So that first accidental in the group of 3 is called F sharp. It is the leading tone to G major. So G major is all, I guess you'd say, white keys down here and 1 black key. So all these keys and 1 accidental to finish it off. Let's do it 10 times. Count. Here we go. 1, Okay, so you might have heard on my 9th time there, I made a mistake, purposely, because I wanted to show you something. I don't let it slide if you can't do it 10 times in a row perfectly. If you can't do it 10 times in a row, you're still learning. Once you can do it 10 times in a row, now you're practicing. So, if that was my student that just did that and made that little mistake, it would be starting over at 1. Happily. Here we go. There we go. That was 12 times. I counted. All right, that's G major. What's the next scale? Well, we just keep going through the circle of fifths here. So we went from C to D, and now we're going to go C to G, and now we're going to go from G to D. D is a good one. It's also easy because it has that same accidental here, the F sharp, which is the first accidental key in the group of 3. And then as you move on, the leading tone is the first accidental in the group of 2. So D major has 2 accidentals, and they happen to be both the first one in each group of 3 and 2. So it goes like this. You have D, E, and then F sharp, right? Then G, A, B, and C sharp, and D, okay? Now, if you don't play those accidentals, it sounds very different. It would be called Dorian mode, technically, and it sounds like this. But we want Ionian or major mode, and that sounds like this. We add those accidentals right here, okay? Here we go. Ah, so much better. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, so that's D major. Take it slow. Okay? Go nice and slow, one at a time. So we got the D, E, then the F sharp, then the G, A, B, and C sharp, D, then back down. Okay? I don't even care if you go super slow, but get all the notes right. Because if you can't play it right really slow, you can never play it right fast. Okay? So there's D major. All right? 10 times up and down. So at each lesson, you never know what I might ask for. You might come back, I might ask for C, and you'll be like, oh, awesome, C is super easy. Or I might ask for D or G. Okay? You're building up your repertoire of scales. Okay? You have 3 scales: C, G, and D. You know, there's a heck of a lot of songs that can be played with those 3 chords, by the way. All right. Moving on to the drum set. Okay, got our sticks here again. Our wrists are all properly warmed up. Let's warm up our ankles, shall we? Okay. I'm going to move you just a little bit this way. Okay, just a little bit. We've warmed up our wrists. Now we need to warm up our ankles. Okay? So we put those feet on those pedals. You'll notice there's a heel pad on each pedal. That's where you're going to put your heel. And you'll just move forward in that kind of a motion with your heel, your ankle. So again, we've got the very basic foot pattern, which is bass on 1, 2, 3, and 4, and hi-hat on 2 and 4. Okay? But again, the trick is you got to hold the hi-hat tight in between openings, very mechanically. So it's going to be, let's start with that hi-hat. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 up, down, and 3 up, down, 1, 2 and 4 and 2 and 4 and 2 and 4. Now let's add the bass drum. can't do it that fast, that's fine. Again, speed is not the object. We want to be able to maintain that with the metronome. Let's get out the metronome again. Okay. Here it is. There. That was 1 minute with the metronome. Build it up each day. I know it's hard if you're not used to doing that with your ankles, but it is an endurance and a strength building thing. So do that. Start off with 1 minute a day. Build up, minute and a half, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And something interesting is going to happen. If you can do that and get that motion down, and now you're listening to that metronome, and it's like you're doing 3 things at once. And maybe it's time to add something. Let's start with something that's really simple. The left hand happens to go right with the hi-hat. So it's easy, just goes on 2 and 4. How did I know where 2 and 4 were? Well, I'm counting. You must always count when you're drumming. Count, count, count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, let it go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're ready to add one more hand here. That goes on the 8th notes. 8th notes are regular counting, but there's an and in between each beat. An and in between each beat, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Keep it going, and you'll be ready to add a fill. One, ready, improvisation world. Because my other three limbs are on automatic, my left hand is free to dance. Check it out. Clearly, I'm having fun here. Let's do a little jam session to end the evening. Good night. We'll see you next week. Next week for the lesson. May your practice be your blessing.